In most cases, finding a job is one thing that every individual is excited about, knowing that human needs will easily be met, regardless of the working environment, but the priority is always to get the most needed money. However, to some quarters in the mining sector, they have to risk their lives in order to get the possible wages. Others end up losing their lives or leaving some body parts injured in course of paving a way for some little cash that they get from the mining sites. Through a working partnership between Luntha Television and Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace, CCJP of Karonga Diocese, with support from a joint country program of Norwegian Church Aid and Danish Church Aid, Nca DCA, we followed up some of the challenges being faced in the mining sector in the northern part of Malawi to help in improving conditions for the workers in the mines. These two gentlemen, Lyson Ngwira and Pilani Nzuma, hail from Muriabweka village in the Kambenene area of the northern Malawi's Karonga district. They both work in a mine called Lisukwa coal mine, which opened in 2005 but has only been in full operation since 2015. The mine has about 205 workers that work under very difficult conditions. These mines are located in a beautiful mountain area which stands in stark contrast to the harsh working conditions. These are two of over 40 million people living as slaves today worldwide, having been terrified of dying at work every single day. Pilani Nzuma, 21 years old, is getting ready to go to bed. It is only 7:30 in the evening, but if he is to be able to get to work at 2 a.m., he must go to bed now. He has to get up so early to embark on the several-hour-long trek to the mines in the mountains behind the village. The last thing he does before he goes to bed is to pray, praying that his life may be saved. He explains that for several times he has been close to death, having gone into the rock without any protective equipment. Reports indicate that every day, each worker in the mine must deliver 35 wheelbarrow loads full of coal. If they deliver 34 loads, they will only receive half their salary or risk not being paid at all. According to Lyson, to get to the mine, they have to walk for several hours on roads that have been destroyed by trucks driving back and forth, with coal falling off and leaving coal dust on the ground, trees and rivers, and often the trees are completely black. He says he was once fired because he went to the funeral of a close family member, but since they needed people, he was ordered back. A similar story is the one at Hara coal mine in the same northern part of Malawi, Karonga district to be specific. In only a few seconds, Gracewell Kayange, 39 years old, became helpless and paralyzed for life from being a strong family man. Gracewell was employed by the Hara coal mine, a mine that has been repeatedly closed due to poor security. The day it opened, he had no choice but to go to work. The mine is in the Kambenene area in the northern Malawi and has 165 workers. At this site, security has been an issue since its inception in 2015. In October 2019, Gracewell was going to work in the mine but had a bad feeling. He was faced at work at 3 o'clock in the morning and he did not want to go in alone. After working a few hours, a rock falls on his head. He falls and sees stones falling on his feet. Finally, a large rock hits his stomach and hips. He faints. Currently, he can neither manage himself in everyday life. The sons have to carry him around and he mostly sits in a wheelchair. He has neither received compensation nor follow-up from the mining company. After a lot of pressure, they paid the hospital bill. Through Norwegian Church Aid and our partner Gracewell is now seeking compensation. Another 60-year-old Chris Mbana works at the same Hara coal mine in the mines of Karonga, Malawi. From morning to night, she must work as if she was 20 years old. Otherwise, the mine manager refuses to pay her wages. If she does not deliver enough, her salary is halved. Her tasks are to divide the pieces of coal that come on the truck 4 times a day, to chop them up into smaller pieces. She notices in her body that she is no longer young. Among other support, the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace, CCJP, have provided protective equipment, pushing for employment contracts, better working hours, and fair treatment of their workers. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Mining, Dr. Joseph Mkandawire, says, as a ministry, they have guidelines as regards to safety and security of mine workers, but negligence in implementation is a great challenge. On his part, NCA DCA Country Director Howard Hogan says the ACT Alliance will not relent in fighting such inequalities in mining sector and that any possible interventions will be rendered effectively to see people's rights being respected.
One of our main priorities for the work in Malawi is what we call fighting inequality. That's one of our main thematic areas. And as NCA and DCA, we have a goal of achieving a fair and equitable financing as well as redistribution of resources across the society. Extractive industry and mining in Malawi might be one of the tools for Malawi as a country to fight their way out of poverty and misery. But then we have to make sure that the profit from this industry comes back to the local communities, that it benefits the workers and the Malawians. We don't want to see the profit going out of the country. If you want to build and further develop Malawi as a country, use the extractive industry as one of the tools that you have. But do it with security in mind for the workers. Protective gear must be in place. Make sure that the profit benefits the workers and the local communities.
A strong escalation of the work against modern slavery is seriously needed. If all stakeholders come together to deal with such slavery in the mining sector, these people will be at peace and enjoy the fruits of their sweat, and economic independence will surely be achieved.